Imagine raising a child only to find out they're not yours. That's exactly what happened to this man, and when the truth came out, he made a decision that left his wife shocked. Let's break it all down.
I asked you to get a DNA test. How would you feel?
Well, considering we're married.
Because I think that was kind of the question, right? Like,
I'm like, considering we're married, I think we have a bigger problem.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
Because I think if 2 weeks after Kyra was born, you want a DNA test, you think I was cheating on you. And then if you think I was cheating on you, we have trust issues. If we have trust, what are we doing? Like, right? Like, we're going much deeper into the surface. I think if it's a one night stand and you ask me for a DNA test, or maybe we're not exclusive, you ask me for a DNA test, I can't take it offensively because we both knew what we were doing. But I think if we're married, if we're in a monogamous relationship where it's not an open relationship, no, absolutely not.
She belongs to the streets.
Like, I think I would feel away. I think most people would feel away.
I'm not disagreeing with you that it might make you feel away. I think that's the normal reaction, the normal human reaction.
You serious? The only problem here is addressing this late in the relationship. When it comes to this topic, it's better to be addressed early in the relationship to avoid these complications.
But I think when you sit down and think about it, not that you shouldn't feel away, but you should understand.
A man should not be scared or hesitant to ask about this. Every man deserves to know if their child is his.
DNA testing at birth.
Mandatory.
Mandatory DNA testing at birth. I don't agree with that.
She belongs to the streets.
Check that baby.
No.
Like, what? Check that baby. I don't care what nobody say. Check that baby. You never know. You never know.
Exactly. Never trust blindly.
Single mom of 4. None of my children's fathers, I wasn't with them, besides this one and my last
Was
one.
your father in your life?
No. Do you think it's because I have daddy
or-
issues?
I don't think that you have daddy issues. I know that you have daddy issues. Yeah, trust me, I know. I have a daughter. The way my daughter views me, she's in awe. She views me as everything is because I treat my daughter as such. So any man that encounters my daughter, she's going to be measuring that man up to me. You don't even meet the things that my daddy is doing for me. So why should I take you? So I'm saying that I know for a fact that it streams from you not having a good father, because if you had a good father, the men that you choose would be better men and you would respect them and you would talk to them better. But I know that you don't have a good father because you speak down to your man currently.
Damn.
I agree that a mother has an important role, but without a father figure, it's unbalanced, and children need their father as much as they need their mother to grow up well balanced.
And it's a lot of good dads out here that's never gonna get custody of their kids, right? And a lot of men are gonna grow up, young black men gonna grow up and be like, dang, like, why my dad ain't never, I ain't never get to stay with my dad. I ain't never do this, I ain't never do that. And I tell this story, right? I was 30 years old when I visited my dad's house for the first time in my life, right? And the reason why that is because my brother died.
This story will go in a direction you've never seen before, so stay tuned.
And all these years, for 30 years, I was always mad at my dad because I was like, man, he ain't never want me to come to his house. He ain't never want me to come play with my siblings. He would never let me stay with him for the summers and stuff. Whole time, when my brother died, I found out that it was never my dad. It was my mom. And then later, my mom admitted that it was, she didn't want to have to give up child support.
He went all these years angry at his father, when the father wasn't the one at fault to begin with.
In custody of me. That's crazy, right?
She should have told him the truth. Sometimes in life, the bitter truth is better to be told to our loved ones rather than a made-up lie. Because when they find out we've been lying, we could lose them forever.
Got the audacity, bruh. Still be in my house and she pregnant by another dude.
Why does it matter? You with different girls all the time.
What you mean? What you mean?
You with different women all the time.
I ain't with no different women all the time. And if I was, I ain't got nobody pregnant though. I ain't got nobody pregnant though. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. You gotta get out of my house.
I'm not going to.
You gotta get out of my house. You gotta get out of my house. All that stuff coming out. It's gonna be all that stuff gonna be out. Hey, don't walk up on me. Everybody gonna see this too. This what it look like, bruh. She wanna stay in my crib and she pregnant by another dude. Oh man, you hey.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
What would you have done in a similar situation? Let's see how you all would handle it.
So it's okay for women to get abortions, but it's not okay for a man to walk away. It's okay for women to a baby, but it's not okay for a man to remove himself from a situation that he no longer sees fit. It's okay for women to trap a man with a baby because he's rich and wealthy, but it's not okay for a man to walk away. I honestly don't understand women's one-sided perspective. Y'all are behaving like the man forced you to have intercourse with him. He forced you to have that baby. Even though this man has been showing you with actions that he did not want to be a father, and you chose to still go through with it because you know you got the court system to push him to be a father, right? Women are the issue. Y'all are the same women that is raising these weak, immature young boys to be thugs, to die in the street because y'all lack self-accountability, which you raise a man with lack of self-accountability, which leads to a man impregnating a woman and not taking care of it because his mother didn't teach him how to have any morals or values. I said it.
She said some pure, straightforward facts. And she earned my respect for being this honest and good-hearted.
My daughter, I had to actually sign a waiver saying that I am attesting that there's no other possible fathers, and there's an opportunity for the man to get the test done right there at the hospital free before he actually signs it.
That's at? That's normal.
That was
what
that's
I mean, at the hospital? Yes, I gave birth to my oldest in 2009, and I had to sign a waiver like
here.
Imagine if this was applied all over the globe. How do you think the world would be?
Child. This is not your child.
What you mean?
This is not your child. I'm just letting you know, so you won't, this is not your child.
So I've been paying child support on this man for what, 4 years, 5 years, and he telling me it's not my child?
Yeah, this is not your child, but I thank you for everything you're doing, but
Oh, baby, it ain't going down like that.
Why it's not? We about to go. I'm about to take him, and we about to just go.
I've been paying $700 a month for 4 years, bruh. You know how much that is?
But I'm just
letting That's like $8,400 a year. 4 years.
I'm letting you know so you won't get a DNA test that he's not your child.
Man, that's like $30-something thousand. But either you got the $30,000 to give me back, or it's gonna be an issue.
We can work something out.
The only solution is for her to take accountability and give him his money back.
Can we just work something out?
I mean, what you trying to work out, bro? Because that's $30-something thousand.
A plan or something. If you want to take me to court, sue me. I don't know, but I'm just letting you know. That you said something about DNA test.
Yeah, something gonna happen because I ain't playing by no 30 racks. I ain't gonna lie. I don't care if child or not. I love him. But you telling me that ain't mine, so I don't care about none of that.
All right, we about to go then.
Man, yeah, but hey, look, figure out how you gonna get my money.
Could not think of anything worse to happen to a guy. I just feel bad for the kids. It's always the kids that suffer the most in these failed relationships.
Divorces initiated against them. Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Dr. Dre, Ryan Reynolds, Tom Brady, Lance Armstrong, Alex Rodriguez, Channing Tatum, Chris Rock, Ben Affleck, Chris Pratt, Liam Hemsworth, Ben Stiller, David Duchovny, Orlando Bloom, Tiger Woods, Sean Penn, Sylvester Stallone, Paul McCartney, Ryan Felipe, Jason Momoa, Michael Jordan. These are all very attractive men, high status men, wealthy, and even they can't keep a chick. So me as I consider myself like kind of a normal dude.
This shows that it could happen to anyone. So be careful who you get married to.
Do men have rights anymore? You see, this woman accused this man of being the father of her child. It turns out he's not. And that's it. There are no consequences. You can just go around accusing people and telling falsehoods and nothing bad. You don't have to pay a fine. You don't go to prison. You don't have to issue a public apology. You just make claims and you get to walk for free. So this woman claims that she's a lesbian and her female partner could not conceive. They tried. One night she gets with a fella and she says, by the way, you got me pregnant, and all of the stuff that goes along with that, the financial responsibility, all of that stuff. You the daddy and there's nothing you can do about it.
This makes me feel sick, that someone would accuse a man of being the father when he's not. And the worst part here is when he's proven innocent, and the justice system does nothing to her.
He said the math ain't mathing. And in the presence of her lawyer, he did a paternity test, and it came back and said he ain't the daddy. Now surely she knew he ain't the daddy because, well, she's only been with one fella because she's a lesbian, right? Or did she know that he ain't the daddy and she accused him anyway and was gonna make him pay for 18 years and raise someone else's child? What should happen if you lie?
All of human history. Now you can take a DNA test, and in some countries, it's actually in France, that's where I was born, you can't get it's illegal to get a paternity test in France because apparently, according to the French, it would be too destructive to society because men would realize that they were cucked and their partner, there's infidelity, and that the kid's not theirs. And that's a real fear for men, to raise a child that you think is yours. Women can't really relate to this one because if you have a kid, you know with certainty the kid is yours. Well, you laugh, but it is a genuine, real fear. That's one of the biggest L's a guy can take in his life, is to, with his wife or partner or whatever.
Well, I'm out, man.
Can someone explain to me why this grown woman, who looks to be in her late 30s, is laughing when this guy is talking about a big issue in society? With due respect, I just think it's immature and incredibly rude.
So there's a little, like, I don't know what started this topic on Twitter. Apparently people are talking about like asking women or their significant other for a DNA test and how it should be like mandatory and, you know, women shouldn't be upset. And, I saw this one. I was like, I agree that, you know, if you a dude and you feel like you got to get a DNA test, whether you married, a long time situation, whatever y'all got going on. If you feel that way, by all means, go do it. However, once you ask that question, once you ask her for a DNA test and she want a divorce, she want to break up with you, you can't be upset at that, bruh. Because my thing is, especially if you married, what the stopping you from getting a little snippet of your kid's hair or their toothbrush or whatever? You can easily get the DNA from the kid without her ever knowing and doing whatever you need to do to get your peace of mind.
This is a smart way to go about this situation. There are two kinds of men. The kind that gets angry and the kind that remains calm and never shows their next move until they win.
So if you bring it up to her and you ask her and you're in a committed relationship, you want to get broken up with. It's not about the kid and wanting a peace of mind at that point. That, like, because you can get the DNA. Like, you can literally go grab a brush, get a piece of hair, get the kid, send it off, get it back without her ever knowing.
It's about getting all the evidence you need before confronting the other person when you are 100% ready.
I want to know, why do women find it disrespectful when a man asks for a DNA test?
I don't know.
Right. Why is that
I don't
disrespectful?
know. You about to hit me with the one point when I pick me because I don't know. I really don't
Why
get
is
it.
that disrespectful?
I really don't get it. I think it should be a requirement because I feel bad for men that are raising children and don't know that's not their kid.
And truthfully, don't see why women get offended when a man asks for a DNA test, especially if y'all just sleeping around. He don't know who else you're sleeping with, so of course he got every right to want to know if the kid's really his or not. Even if you're in a relationship or a marriage, like, people step out of their relationship, people step out of their marriage. So I feel like when a man asks for a DNA test, it should just be a given. And the first thing y'all say is, oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, you question my loyalty. No, what's embarrassing is your kids growing up and they're dating their cousin, they're dating their siblings, all because you told this man that it was his baby and you know it's not his baby. So I feel like DNA test should be mandatory. It should be given. Now, I see how some of y'all get offended because of the way he approached you about the DNA test. Oh, the only reason why I'm asking is because my mama said she has suspicions or my sister said she heard things about you. I can see where you get offended because now you feel like he's not asking for himself. You feel like he's asking for others. But other than that, if a man asks you for a DNA test and you know you ain't stepped out, you know you ain't doing wrong, you know it's his baby, give him one.
I have a good feeling that it will be mandatory in the future. And that is necessary because a family is something important, and its values need to be kept safe.
Every woman, bro. Watch this. Excuse me, quick question. Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear.
Why the bear?
Because men are very unpredictable sometimes when they're straight, usually.
You don't think the bear's unpredictable?
No, because I'm a crazy so I'll scare it.
You could take a bear?
Yeah, I'm Colombian. I could take the bear.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
Even if she can, the real question is, can you defeat a wolf? I don't think so.
How would you take a bear?
By screaming and being big like you're supposed to.
How big can you get? Can you show me? You have no chance. Now, do you believe me that every woman chooses the babe?
Oh, be wildin'. I ain't gonna. That's one thing I learned.
DNA test should be mandatory for any male that wants to be placed on a child's birth certificate. I know like a lot of people aren't gonna like that, but if it was just something that was mandatory, it should just be no argument, no nothing. If it's his child, it's his child. And if it's not, there's just so much more that goes into just like knowing who you are and your identity based off of both of your parents. Like, I was just thinking about it because there was a video that went viral about a man that went to jail for not paying child support for a child that wasn't even his.
Here we go again.
So today is Friday and I got my child support check and I don't know what to spend it on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm gonna go leave my kids at their grandmother's house and I'm probably gonna go out drinking with my husband, go out and gamble a little bit.
Stop it. Get some help.
Maybe go shopping. The kids don't need anything because I provide everything for them. So I might just go ahead and splurge on myself with my little child support check. What do you girls do when you get child support?
And you know what though? That's typically how the bullshit goes. You feel me?
This must be some kind of sarcasm, but this is not something to be joked about.
What's this I hear? Your mama said that you want a DNA test.
You get in the car?
No, why do you want a DNA test for my child? What happened? Like, you said all this time that you did not need no DNA test. We've been in a relationship for 5 years, and all of a sudden, I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden now you want a DNA test.
Okay, since you don't get in the car and talk to me, I'm gonna be real with you. I just don't know. The baby is like so light.
You don't know what? The baby is 4 days old.
Even if that's the case, the man just wants to know to rest his mind.
Like, what do you mean? Like, so you really want a DNA test for our baby?
I didn't come out the womb like that. And
it don't matter. So tell me this. Like, do you think that I was cheating at all? Our whole relationship, we've been together 5 years. No. You always know where I'm at. I'm always at the house. If I do leave out the house, I'm with you. You honestly think I was cheating?
I don't think you was cheating, but what's wrong with me getting a DNA test?
Why do you need a DNA test?
I just want to know for a fact.
You do know for a fact.
I don't know for a fact.
You don't know for a fact that this your child.
That's what the DNA test for. No, I don't.
You don't know for a fact.
I don't know. What's
but we've been together for 5 years.
My mama said I should get a DNA test just to be sure. Be clear.
Your mama wasn't in our relationship though. I feel like that's so disrespectful that you even want a DNA test for our child. We've been together for 5 years.
Do you have anything to worry about?
You're literally talking about us getting married next year.
Have you cheated on me?
No, I have not.
So what you
no, I have not. I'm not worried.
This shouldn't be taken seriously or as an insult. Couples should just get it over with and rest assured.
I'm not worried about it. I just find it just so odd. All of a sudden, now you want a DNA test, and all of a sudden, you just questioning the baby.
Listen.
Are you questioning our son?
I just want to know for sure. That's it.
So you questioning whether he's yours or not?
I just want to know for sure. That's it.
So you don't know for sure?
I don't.
And we've been together for 5 years.
No, I don't know. So can you stop making this?
So you don't know? All right.
Wait, Brian, did you just say that you don't like challenges?
Yeah, when it comes to dating, no, I don't.
Okay, I think you're just self-admitting and not being an alpha, because that's what makes some relationships more exciting and for the guy to keep pursuing, because if it was safe and stable, it kind of gets more.
No. Okay, first off, we're talking about dating. I absolutely engage in challenging things when it comes to my business, when it comes to all that. I'm not shying away from challenge. When it comes to dating, again, Proverbs 21:19, better to live in the desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. I don't want my partner to be a challenge, because if you play hard to get, you quickly become hard to want.
We men want someone to make our lives easier, not harder.
Manly men, not feminine guys then?
Personally, I like very masculine men. I like a man who brings out the feminine in me. I don't like a man that makes me almost bring out the masculine in me.
That is very important. When your man is a man and takes care of himself, it brings out the feminine side in a woman.
Guys get pissed off when women are in the masculine, but they don't realize it's because of themselves that they cause it.
Exactly.
When a woman feels like she can trust her partner, you will find the feminine side of her.
Some guy told me literally 3 days ago, stop acting like a man. I said, you're making me act like this. Maybe you should act like a man so I can act like a woman.
You look like a fighter to me.
I'm aggressive.
Here is the problem in just one word. She just said it.
A guy says $15,000 on an engagement is a waste of money, but he's willing to spend it on a car,
You know who he values more, the car or you.
A guy would rather spend it on a car because a car is the priority, not the ring. A ring wouldn't drive you to work every day.
Your body count.
You don't want to know.
What do you mean?
I don't even know.
What's the estimated number? Is it above 10?
Yeah.
Is it above 20?
It's between 20 and 100.
Damn! Are they same men?
They are not, no.
How many men?
3.
3. Have you ever been married?
I have not. I've been proposed to 3 times, but I have not been married.
What kind of man are you looking for?
Tall, 6'4" or taller. Someone who's honest, of course. So I don't want any liars. I would prefer 100,000 or more for him to make.
Why would a guy be lucky to be with you, Jasmine?
Well, first of all, look at me.
What would you say to the people that are going to be watching? You know, you have a 6'4", request. If not 6'4", 6 feet, makes at least 100K. Some people will say that would be a delusional request for you of a mom with 3 by 3 men. What would you say to that?
I would say check my track record.
It's just an item always at risk of being stolen. Some people would never lower their standards, and they would wonder why they are single. Building walls around us may protect our ego, but we'll be left alone in a prison of our own making. Well, guys, that was all for today. We'll be back soon.